actually on a cellular level, we are very different. And what that means is that female cells react differently than male does, especially to drugs and medication. But historically, the research that's been done for drugs that are prescribed to both men and women are done solely on men. So what does this mean? If our cells metabolize drugs differently, medicines differently, and we're being prescribed for those drugs that were only tested on men, we don't really know how our cells react to those drugs. This is why there's more overdose in women on prescription drugs than in men, and women are actually prescribed more drugs than men are. So we thought that that's amazing to hear that, wow, I didn't know that. And when I go to my doctor, do I ask my doctor if this medication has been tested on women? Do we know how this affects how a woman's body reacts to this prescription, to this drug? Yes, you do, actually. You ask that question. And if your doctor doesn't know that answer, and a lot of them will scratch their head going, I don't know. It's because we don't know. But if you ask the question, you start to get answers. Your doctor starts to ask those questions. The NIH just recently, in 2014, had just made it mandatory for all tests for drugs to have female cells tested for drugs. It's become now mandatory, where it had not ever been before. So it's a good step towards a movement in the medical research industry to have that be, but it's still behind. Most all prescriptions that we have now are only tested on that. And also ethnicity, white men mostly. So now they're starting to include more ethnicity too, because we are all different. And 3 was telomeres. So telomeres are those little caps on the end, like on the end of your shoe, on your end of your shoelace, there's a cap, and it holds the shoelace together. Well, telomeres are that for your DNA. They're these little tabs on the end of the telomeres that hold your DNA together. And as we get older, and especially stress affects your telomeres, what it does is that stress starts to shorten the telomeres. And what happens is the DNA starts to fray. And because all we are a bunch of cells that are constantly replicating and changing over, what happens every time a cell replicates itself is it copies all of our DNA exactly the same every single time. You hope. That's what they do. Because if it doesn't, what happens is it mutates, it changes. This cancer is a mutated cell that didn't replicate properly. What happens is part of that DNA gets lost in the replication. So then we have accelerated to aging, accelerated to mutated cells. So that was really interesting. Oh, okay, stress shortens telomeres. Well, the cool thing is that meditation lengthens telomeres. So you can actually shorten them, but you can also lengthen them. It's just an conscious effort. It's knowing that it can happen. So that was very interesting as well for us to learn. We shared with you in depth in the book. And what else? I think there's so much more. We can keep going.
You kind of spoke on this one earlier, but maybe we can reiterate a little bit. What are the 5 pillars of well-being, and why are these important?
Do you guys need to hear that again? They're just really important because it's like everything. Like everything. They're pillars. It's like taking all those out of this room.
Well, then what we'll do is we'll move on to some questions from the audience. We'll take a few. Start with this gentleman right here in the middle.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
So my question is not based on the book, but as an actress, you've played many awesome roles. My favorite being Elizabeth Halsey in Bad Teacher. What was your favorite that you played?
My favorite? Author. I don't have a favorite. It's like asking what your favorite child is, who your favorite child is. You love them all for different reasons. So, sorry, that's my answer.
That's okay, thank you.
I got a question.
Okay, this gentleman is choosing the, I was told to.
I'm sorry.
Hi, how are you?
Good
What was the most rewarding thing about this personally and for your audience?
Well, you know, the thing that it comes down to is that our well-being is really our responsibility, you know, and that's something that I've like slowly realized over the years of like, oh, like I'm doing this myself. Oh, I'm the only one who can get myself up in the morning and force myself to go and work out or go for a run. I'm the only one who can say, yes, I'll put this into my body. Our well-being is our own responsibility, and it's really hard in a world where we're sold that we can kind of just let somebody else tell us how to do it, or that we can sort of believe that, oh, if I just take that pill, or if I only do this for this short period of time. We all are looking for an easy way out, but what it comes down to is that it really you just have to do it. It's just what it is. If you want to be healthy, you have to do the work that it takes, you know, and in an ever-changing world where it's totally excusable and everybody is on board with swiping on a phone for 4 hours out of the day when, you know, they could be doing anything else, really, to help themselves out, to make themselves well, that we excuse ourselves and because everybody else is not doing it or everybody else is doing that. I think that the most important thing to understand and the thing that I have to remind myself of every day is that it's my responsibility. It's my body, and I gotta take care of it.
After reading the body book, I actually now have a baked sweet potato every day, thanks to you. I feel like it was a good education on complex carbs, because I think we're told all carbs are bad. My question is, with your background in film and acting, are there any ambitions to turn what you've learned from the body book and the longevity book into a documentary or a docu-series? Is there a vision of that?
You know, I think a lot on how I can take this information into the world in different ways. I believe in, you know, people ask me all the time, you know, like, why did you do a cookbook next? And I go, because a cookbook would take me as long as it took me to do this, but it would be different information. And what I want to be able to do is be effective with my time, you know. I really want to be able to put it out into the world in a way that's going to be really effective. I don't want to kind of over here get it there. I want it to go all the way. So, and this is sort of the first step of it. I just don't know what the next step is. I'm working on it, trying to figure it out. We'll see.
We'll take our next question back here.
How are you this evening?
Getting yourself?
I want to say you look great. You haven't changed much since you started in the business.
It's the high ponytail.
Yeah. And I'd like to know, will you ever come and do Broadway?
Ooh.
And a musical?
You know what? No, I can tell you that. I cannot sing without a lot of help from a really great engineer. So, but I would dance maybe, but no, I don't think I'll make it to the stages. But I admire the actors who do. It's incredible what they do, what they accomplish.
Right in the back here.
Hi Kevin, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. My question is, what advice do you have in terms of longevity for women in their 50s or 60s who have taken care of children all their lives, or are maybe still taking care of their parents, or no longer taking their parents? I mean, my mother's at that point in her life, and I'm trying to give her advice, and I'm sure there's many women in the audience as well.
Yeah. Look, it's never too late. It's never too late. The body wants to be strong. That's the beautiful thing. The body wants to survive. We are all predisposed to that in ourselves as animals, that we just want to live. So if your mother, or is it your mother? I assume it was your mother. anyone at the age, later ages who, and this happens a lot for women, they sacrifice themselves, they don't take care of themselves, they miss out on a lot of that time, especially when they're younger, to be able to take care and manage their health first. They take care of everybody else. It's just time to take care of yourself. Go to the doctor, know where you're at, get your physical, know your numbers. That's another thing. Everybody here, no matter if you're healthy or not, especially if you're healthy, you should go to the doctor. Make sure that you know where your numbers are at right now. They should be markers for the rest of your life. Every 6 months, you go in, you have your blood test done. Or every 12 months, whatever it is, you have to have a documentation of where you started, what your baseline is. Because there might be that next time you go and there's an elevation, and you won't know it's an elevation because you don't know, and you won't know where you've elevated from. So it's important to have that on file, have a doctor who maintains and helps you manage your health and knows where you're at. I would say first to start with making sure that she gets a full checkup, knows where she's at, and engage her, have her learn if she's interested, because you can't push people to do things, you can only inform them, maybe give her the book. But to understand those 5 pillars and start to work on them, chip away at them, start, if she doesn't eat well, learn nutrition. If she doesn't move, go for a walk. Engage her in those things as well. Cook for her. Take her out for an afternoon. Whatever it is, try to get her to understand what the issues are, learn what her issues are, and learn how she can manage those through being conscious of her behavior and her choices.
So folks, we have time for just 2 more questions before we move on to the photo op. We're going to start with this lovely lady right here.
Hi, my name is Monica. I'm a huge fan.
Thanks,
I originally come from Poland, and we absolutely love you there.
Thank you so much.
And I have a question. Could you speak a little bit about your meditation practice and how it changed your life?
Meditation's everything. Transcendental meditation I learned a few years ago, and it really is one of those things that is very transformative. You don't think it, you're like, yeah, sure, meditation. I wanted to meditate forever, but every time I would try to do a meditation, I was like, this is just not for me. I'm not capable of it. And I was turned on to TM, and it was the easiest thing that I've ever learned. Not meditation, but the easiest thing I've ever learned in my life is TM. It's because your body naturally wants to do it. It's an instinct for it, and it not only is an instinct, it's an instinct because it's necessary. It needs it. It's not just a moment to check out, it's a moment to heal yourself. You actually, meditation heals, relieves the stress that causes the telomeres to shrink and helps to rebuild them. So it is actually a medicinal thing. We all think, oh, meditating is for people who have the time and are lucky enough. Meditation is for everyone. Everyone should do it. The same with, taking those moments. This is a riff, but I'm thinking of, massages, body work. People think, oh, only people who have time to get massages, only people who are, have time to be leisurely and spoil themselves get massages. Not at all. Massages are essential to your body. You need them. You need to have your muscles worked. You need to have the blood flow moved around in your body. You need your lymphatic system to drain. These are things that we think that is for other people, but are really for everyone. So.
We'll take our final question right over here.
Lucky me. Hi, I'm Esther. Big fan.
Thank you.
Do you think that depression speeds up the aging process? And if so, what are some things that people can do to stop that or help?
Yeah, depression definitely can affect aging, and depression for women especially, because women are more predisposed to depression, to clinical depression, especially around the time of menopause, because we are going through major changes hormonally. And so it's very important that if you start to feel depression in yourself, especially if you're going through menopause or at any time in your life, that you seek the help and guidance of a medical professional. But the one thing that you can start by doing is asking yourself, what are your habits? A lot of people think that they're depressed, and really what they are is that they're just sedentary. and they haven't moved their body in very long. They haven't gotten their heart rate up. They're not eating well. They're eating a lot of, processed foods. They're eating a lot of sugar, which also makes people go up. They think they're really happy, and then all of a sudden they're crashed and you go down, and the only way out of it is more sugar, which keeps it going. So I say first, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that's just my advice across the board. But check your habits. Ask yourself, what am I doing? When was the last time I got my sweat on? Because sweating, exercise is the first thing that a lot of doctors will say. Are you getting your heart rate up? Because what happens is you have endorphins that are released into your body, and it makes you happy. It elevates your mood. It gets your blood flowing, and so start there. But truly, if you really feel that you're depressed, and especially if you feel like you're a danger to yourself, always go to a medical professional, or call a hotline, or ask a friend to help you. That's very important.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have one more round of applause for Ms. Cameron Diaz. So at this time, we ask that you please remain seated. We're going to take a moment just to get the stage ready for you. We'll start calling you up row by row. Again, just in the interest of time, we do ask that you guys have everything ready to go. Have your cameras out ready to go, have jackets off. When you come up, you're just going to put your stuff down on your feet and we'll get a picture taken for you. Thank you.
That stuff over there. Too close, actually. Yeah. Here, I'll just sit here. I'm sorry. I know I was saving the seat, and then I know I've seen you say, "Where did she go?" Because she was coming out. I didn't want to walk across.
I hope you make sure that you have your coats off, your cameras out, and you're ready. And it's just that one.
Okay.
All right, guys, just one more time, just want to run over everything just so that we're all on the same page. Please, everyone, have everything ready. Have jackets off, have your cameras ready to go. We're not doing any selfies today, so you're just going to hand your camera off to me. We'll get a picture for you. Thank you.
Thank you.